Kentucky Spin. Our 4 core values: respect, education, dignity, empowerment. Established 1988, Kentucky Spin is a parent training and information center in Kentucky. Hey, Mr. Babinski, I had some questions on my IEP and I was wondering if you could help me out. Hi, I'm Nick with Kentucky Spin, back with another Youth Talk. For this Youth Talk, I'm going to be talking about the IEP and just kind of some surface level basic entry stuff. So that way, whether you're a parent or a youth and you're going to an IEP meeting, you can kind of maybe have a better understanding of the basics. So the IEP, what is it? Well, IEP stands for Individualized Education Program, and it's a kind of a written plan for a student that's in special education with the goals and or objectives that need to be achieved in order for that student to be successful. Each student has their own IEP to help meet their unique needs. It's kind of like a popular analogy that we like to use at Kentucky Spin when talking about IEPs is we like to compare it to a GPS. If you don't know, a GPS is a helpful device that people use with their cars whenever they're driving places that they might not know how to get to. Because it's one thing if you're like driving up the street or driving to like the store you go to all the time. But if you're going somewhere maybe 30, 40, 50 an hour away and beyond that, you might not know how to get there. So you use a GPS. The GPS gives you directions, tells you which roads to take, which roads not to take, lets you know if there's speed bumps or if there's speed traps coming up. It lets you know about the things you can avoid them and get to your destination. Well, an IEP is kind of like that, except instead of going to like the next state over or wherever, it's getting to the end of your education and into adult life. So how do you access an IEP? So there is a meeting known as an ARC or an IEP meeting. It's held to discuss evaluation results and to determine if there is a need for special education services. So before you get an IEP, there'll be a meeting like that where they'll talk about you be evaluated and they'll go over the results to determine if you really need an IEP or not. And if there is a need for special education services, this is also the meeting where the IEP will be developed or changed, because you have multiple IEP meetings. You don't just have one. You have one at least once a year, or whenever one is brought up for if there's something needs to be changed, or there's development, or maybe one of your goals is met, or something comes up and that goal can't be met anymore, etc. So IEP meetings can happen at any point, but they are required to happen at least once a year. And an IEP meeting can best just be stated as it's something for a group of people to come together to work to help a student with disabilities reach their goals. So who's part of the IEP team? Well, first, there's a public agency rep, or the PAR, or PAR. This is just a representative from the school who knows about the school's resources and has the authority to commit or expand them. This is a role that can be filled by the principal, someone from the special administration office, or even a guidance counselor. There's also a case manager. This is a teacher who is licensed in an area of a disability or suspected disability. If you don't know who your case manager is, this is a really good time to find out the next time you're at school. If you're unsure on how to figure out who your case manager is, you can try asking one of your teachers. Your case manager may work more with your teachers than directly with you, but this person is supposed to be an expert on you and your disability. So it's important to your education that you know who is in this role. And also a general education teacher. General education just means programs that are available to all students. This could just be a teacher you have. It could be like your social studies teacher, English teacher, science teacher, etc. And along with that, there is also someone who can describe what testing results mean and provide strategies on how to best instruct a student with disabilities. And then there is a parent. If you are under the age of 18, or if the parent has been appointed as a guardian, they also get to be involved. It is also important to know that the law provides a list of people who can serve in the role of the parent. So you may be someone who has a parent with a different title other than parent. And then finally, the last member of the IEP team is you. The IEP is for you, it's written for you, it's designed for you to help you meet your needs, so there's no reason why you will not be part of the team and should not participate or be invited to the IEP meetings. So what's discussed at the IEP? Strengths. What is it that you're good at? What is working for you in school, and what areas are you excelling in? As well as weaknesses. What are you not so good at? What isn't working, and what areas are you struggling in at school? And there's also, we talked about the present level of performance. Present level performance is a section of the IEP that tells what you're currently able to do when we are talking about both academic skills and functional skills. Remember that this is the starting point for your IEP. Present level performance is your starting point. So now you might be wondering, okay, well, what are academic skills and functional skills? Academic skills are your skills in reading, math, and writing, but it also includes some other areas. Academic skills are school stuff, like knowing how well you're doing in your classes, with your different school topics and things like that. Functional skills include information about your physical skills, personal care skills, independent living skills, as well as social and emotional adjustments. So this is just everyday living stuff. Whereas academic skills are related to your school, your ability to do school stuff, and how well you are able to absorb different subjects in school. Your functional skills is everyday living things, like can you do your own laundry? Are you able to, if you're old enough, are you able to drive yourself to school? Are you able to just drive a car? Are you able to dress yourself properly? Can you make yourself your own food? Are you able to provide for yourself? Functional skills relate to a lot of stuff. Stuff that will be a lot more, that will come up a whole lot more in adulthood as opposed to academic skills. Both of these are very important and are both are both part of the present level performance, but that's just your differences. And once they are done going through your present level performance, this section of the IEP should give a clear picture of what you're able to do well, what you're working on, and what you're unable to do. It is important to understand that in this section of your IEP, that there is a statement of how the skills you are lacking affect your progress and involvement in general education. Another topic that the ARC or IEP will cover will be concerns, and concerns will be the focus for most of the ARC or IEP meeting. It is important that the team looks at the concerns of the school staff, the parent, and even the student. This could be any number of things, just things you're struggling with, like like I mentioned, concerns could be concerns you have as the youth. This could be things like if you're having issues in math class, and it might not even be an academical math issue. Maybe there's just something about the environment that bothers you. Maybe the lights are too bright, which is a genuine concern. Like if the lights are too bright, or maybe there's too much noise, like there's too much ambient noise in the room. Maybe there's a certain student there that just something about them just bothers you in some way. These are all valid concerns. These are all valid concerns that you can bring up in the IEP. And then also, of course, and of course, teachers and parents and other professionals will also bring up concerns that they might have about your education or where you are. Also, reports. At your meeting, school staff will share reports. These reports are important because they will provide the information needed so that the team can plan to meet your unique needs when it comes to your academic and functional performance at school. These reports can include your current grades, behavioral assessments, evaluations, and things related to your IEP goals. Goals. Why does your IEP have goals? So everyone, all of us, must be taught information and skills. Your goals will help to address your unique needs that result from your disability. I mentioned concerns a little while ago, and this is where you can really address some of the skills that came up there. These goals will help the ARC and IEP team measure your progress in the areas of need, and by law, have to be in your IEP. Why are goals important? Goals help us with accountability to make sure that you, the student, are making appropriate progress. If you're not reaching your goal, the ARC and IEP team needs to meet again and work together to come up with a different plan to help you reach your goal. Goals are also important to make sure that the skills needed for when you're an adult are closely watched and monitored. This last part is important. Transition out of high school starts at 14th or 8th grade, whichever comes first. And transition is basically just it's setting you up for adult life. It's making sure you have the skills and the knowledge you need to be successful when you leave high school. Regardless of if you go to college, pursue post-secondary, or if you go immediately to the workforce, regardless of what you do after high school, your transition goals are what is put together to help make sure that you can be as successful as you possibly can be after high school when you're an adult. And every IEP has a transition plan. And the transition plan comes up, like I said, when you turn 14 or when you're in 8th grade. Whichever of those comes first, that's when you get your transition plan. And it details everything that you need to be successful. And this is something that, and this transition plan will change over the next few years of high school. It will change as things come up and you figure out more things about yourself as you go into adulthood. And this is really important. Like this is like literally the moment when you figure out how your future is going to be. It's when you start working on your transition plans. So if you haven't been active in your IEP as a youth, this is the time to do it, because this is the important time. This is when, literally, like I said, everything's going to come together, and you're going to be the one who you know you best than anyone else. Your mom or dad, they might know you really well because they've been stuck with you for over a decade. But you should know yourself the best. I mean, you're you. So know what you need, become aware of your struggles are, meet with your guidance counselor, your resource teacher, and have them, like, if you don't know what you need, meet with them, have them work with you individually, one-on-one, about your transition goals and where they think you struggle. Work with your parents, talk with them about where they think you struggle or where they think you're good. Figure that stuff out, so that way when you go to your next IEP meeting, figure out what these transition goals are. And if you don't know, or if you haven't done it recently, after watching this video, this would be a great time. Next time you go to school, go to your special ed teacher or to your parents or whoever and be like, hey, let's get an IEP meeting scheduled, so you can get brushed up on what all this stuff is. Because this is important. Like, if there's a lot of, like, in school, there's a lot of, like, oh, this is important, this isn't important, and that can kind of be up in the air if that's true or not. The IEP is important. If there was one thing in school that you as a youth were to, like, acknowledge actually was important and was going to be useful to you, it's your IEP meeting. So I recommend get that meeting scheduled and figure out what's going on with your life, so you can lead a successful adulthood after high school. Anyway, that's all for this Youth Talk. I'm Nick with Kentucky Spin. If you have any more questions, go to the Kentucky Spin website at www.kyspin.com. We have plenty of other resources to help with an IEP. There's a Transition Tuesday that goes over the IEP basics. Also, IEPs can be confusing. There's a lot of information in them. We at Kentucky Spin, we're all IEP experts. That's like the one thing that we deal with the most, is helping parents and youth figure out their IEPs. Reach out to us directly, call us, and we'll have someone one-on-one talk with you about it. But otherwise, again, visit our website if you have any more questions. Don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you for watching. Thank you. Visit www.kyspin.com.